Hey my YouTube friends, I'm going to make a storytime video. I know storytime videos are like very popular, I was told. I'm not making this on my I Love to Sing X3 channel because my parents did tell me if I bash them that they'll report me on my YouTube channel, and I've been on that channel for such a long time and I worked hard on it, and I'm not trying to bash them in this video. But this storytime video is when I was in a mental institution because of my parents, and it was last August, and I want people to know what I went through because it wasn't right at all. I was 22 at the time. So my parents mentally and verbally abused me. Not like they attacked me or anything, but of their words. They were like calling me stupid, you're not capable to do anything, you're not ready to move out. They would, every time I tried to move out, they would trap me. And like, I'm just trying to move out, like I'm trying to be like everybody else, but they were just controlling me. And that's what I didn't like. I didn't like being controlled. So like, hold on. So what happened was, I had this friend and he didn't like what I was going through. Nobody liked what I'd gone through. Like, a few people didn't, but majority of the people thought I was seeking attention, but I wasn't. I was just seeking for help. I wasn't suicidal, and I'm not suicidal now, but I remember my dad said on the phone, because I was with my friend and it was after work. I remember my dad said he would get emergency guardianship of me, and I was very upset. And I ended up saying to my friend, I'm going to sleep on the streets. I wasn't suicidal, but I said I'm going to sleep on the streets because I didn't like being controlled. I didn't like the way he was upsetting me. And he was just like, I'm not letting you sleep on the streets. I'm letting you stay at this house. So I stayed at this house, and they call her Mum, but her real name's Joanne. She's really nice. She was going to let me stay there. So, till I needed a place, I guess, to stay. But she was nice enough to let me. So I did. My parents didn't know where I was. My friend took my SIM card out of my iPhone so they couldn't track me because that's what they like to do. So, yeah. They couldn't because my SIM card was out of my phone. And you know how iPhones, they can like track easily, so that's what I have right now. I hate my iPhone. Well, I like my iPhone, but I hate that's why they have that. So anyways, I remember we had to call the cops. Now this is like the same town, but this is like different cops. So the one cop came out and we told the cop that my dad was harassing us. And I think he said if he keeps doing it, we're allowed to press charges. I forget. But he asked me how old I was, and I said I'm 22. I'm 23 now, but I was 22 at the time, and he was just like, you're 22? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, you can do what you want. Your parents can't tell you what to do. You're of age. You can do what you want. So then the next day, me and my friend and my other friend, we decided to go near my house to get my paycheck, my $200 paycheck. I have direct deposit now, but I had paychecks at the time, and they would come every Monday. So we go near my house. My parents saw us, but my other friend left, so my one friend actually saw me get handcuffed. So I remember hiding in this bush because I was trying to look for my ID because I couldn't find it. Yeah. So the cops showed up, and these, mind you, these cops know my parents, especially my father. So they told me to, you know, stand up. Well, I was standing up, but they just told me to go like this. Like, they acted like I committed a crime, but they were like this. They told me to go like this and like this, so they handcuffed me. They acted like I committed a crime. Supposedly I had a search warrant for my arrest, but my parents were saying I was in a crack house. And even if I was in a crack house, I didn't know I was. I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, my one friend, all my other friends told me that the house I was at is not a crack house. And I don't think it was either because I was fine. Nobody forced me to do anything. So anyways, the cops took me and I'm like, where am I going? And they're like, oh, the mental institution. And I'm like in my head, why? I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I have a support coordinator and my advocate Martine, she fights for my rights, and they even told me Like, when I got out of my situation, they even told me, like, they shouldn't have took you. Like, you kept calm. I don't get why they took you. So they took me. I got evaluated to see if I had to go there or not. And when I went there, it was called Building 50, but when I went there, they told me my parents weren't going to be there. And then 10 minutes later, they showed up and they were talking to the doctor. And then all of a sudden, the one lady was just like, the one lady that was evaluating me, she was just like, oh, do you want to talk to your parents because they're here? And I'm like, in my head, I thought you just told, sorry, I thought you just told me that they weren't going to show up. But I didn't say that to her, but in my head, I'm just like, I thought you just told me that. So anyways, I remember after my parents left, I had to get a shower. Like, my dad was upset. He cried. He was in tears because he didn't want to send me there, but he did. So I had to get a shower, and then I had to put a gown on. And then after that, I was allowed to be in my street clothes. I met a lot of patients, and I told them what I was going through, and I told them I'm 22, because they said, how old are you? And I told them what my parents put me through, and they're just like, you can do what you want. I remember I met this, like, older lady, and she told me about Guardian and Lightem or something, but I just told everybody in there. And I remember I met a guy in there, he was, like, an older guy. He was in there for, like, I guess driving while drinking or something. I forget what they call him. And he told me that he was listening about somebody having a warrant, and he said it sounded kind of like my situation. And I remember my sister told my one friend that, oh, we're going to get a search warrant for her. So I didn't like being there at all. They had groups in there. Like, they had karaoke one night. And hold on. They had like karaoke one night, and the microphone didn't work. It sucked. And then they also had yoga. But if you didn't go to the groups, you couldn't get out quick. That's like what really sucked. I hated it there so much. You got to have roommates, so it felt like, you know, you were in college. But I just hated being in there. And then I remember, like, there was, like, before I got discharged, it was me, the doctor, and my parents. And we were in this, like, room, and it was like a circle table or whatever. And I had to do a contract. My parents had to do a contract. And I remember asking the doctor, can I go to court and fight this? He said, you can go to court, but you're not going to win. Like, who says that? So then I finally moved out now. Because I could have gone back to that building. But I reached out to my ARC program, like my supports coordinator, my advocate. My advocate fights for my rights. She doesn't like the word guardianship because my dad has used it a lot. And I'm on the lease now on an apartment, so they can't get me out. And my parents know where I'm at now. They know where I'm living. They know the apartment. They know the number. They're not mad at me. And I'm not trying to bash them, because I know they said if I make a YouTube video about them again, that they'll report my video. But I'm not trying to bash them. I just want people to know what I've gone through, because it's not right. Like, it happened when I was 22 in the mental institution. I'm 23 now, but I just didn't deserve it at all. I missed 5 days of work. Like, it was just horrible. I swear I just heard something. I'm by myself right now, so it sucks. But it was just horrible what they put me through. And I work with this advocate. She fights for my rights, like I said, and she doesn't like the word guardianship. And she told me that it was shady that I was in there. She even told me when she talked to my dad, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, my dad ended up telling her that he lied to get me in there. He lied that I was suicidal. The whole contract was a lie. He pretty much told the building, the people there, if you don't do this, I'm gonna sue you. So they pretty much listened to him, and he had connections with the cops. He had connections with everybody. I didn't even deserve to be in there. So it was horrible what I went through. I never saw my SSI money either, but now I have a agency taking over my money instead of him. Now I have to owe $1,400 for Social Security when it should be him. Because I do have a recording of him saying that he owes that money. I have it somewhere, but he said that he owes the money. But now he tells me I have to owe it. So I don't know, like, being in that mental institution was just horrible. And my advocate now, like, she knows that I was in there, and she just thinks it was fishy, and she said I should have never been in there. But she said the next time that I'm in there to call her. They also had phones in there, so the phones only worked from like 7 in the morning till 11 at night. I hated it. Just wanted to tell you guys what I went through, because it was not right at all.